You never know really how it's going to hit, what it's going to do. There's very unpredictable. You just got to prepare yourself.
Hurricane Harvey upgraded to a Category 2 storm this morning. Evacuations going on right now as the storm churns hundreds of miles off the coast. How many inches of rain South Texas could see with this storm? Plus,
this is our first bank robbery of the year.
Police are on the lookout for a man that walked away from a bank robbery Thursday morning on University. The description of the suspect coming up. And a Jonesboro school is doing away with in-school suspension and replacing it with yoga. We'll tell you why and where the school got that idea from coming up at 6:54.
From the station that's on your side, this is Channel 7 News Daybreak.
Good morning, everybody. The time now is 6 o'clock on this Friday. We start right now. Breaking news overnight. The National Hurricane Center says Hurricane Harvey has strengthened to a Category 2 storm.
Yeah, here's a live look at the Texas coast from Galveston. The storm is expected to strengthen even more to a Category 3 by the time it makes landfall, bringing with it 12-foot storm surges and up to 35 inches of rain. ABC's Janae Norman reports on how the Gulf Coast is preparing and where the storm is right now.
Good morning. The storm continues to strengthen, and there are no signs of weakening before it makes landfall.
Hurricane Harvey is hurling toward the U.S. coastline, already whipping winds more than 100 miles per hour. The storm setting its sights on South Texas. People in the bullseye already swarming stores, stockpiling sandbags and essentials, and cars lining up for hours to fill up on gas.
Absolute insanity over this hurricane.
Many people leaving home as Harvey is expected to drown parts of the South, dousing some areas with more than 35 inches of rain and storm surges up to 12 feet.
We are going to, in the strongest possible terms, encourage the residents in the low-lying areas, as they say, get out of Dodge.
Images from NASA show the size of the storm, the likes of which haven't been seen in nearly 20 years. And it's moving slowly. The Hurricane Center says it's possible the storm could stay inland for up to 72 hours, increasing the threat of severe flooding.
Millions of people will likely be impacted by the storm, but the entire country could feel its impacts because of gas prices. More than a dozen refineries are in the storm's path, and some will be shut down until Harvey passes. Janae Norman, ABC News, Washington.
Well, one of the things that's going to make Hurricane Harvey so devastating for South Texas is the fact that it sits over that area for so long, and that's one of the things that's going to add to the effects of it. We'll be watching, of course, and we'll have the latest forecast all day today as it is expected to make landfall, possibly as a Category 3 late tonight or in the overnight hours early tomorrow morning. Now, some of the rainfall estimates you just heard there, over 2 inches possible, might even come back out and make a second landfall along the Texas Gulf Coast. And then some of the models saying later next week, between now and Thursday, we could see, especially southeast Arkansas, the effects of possibly some heavy rain. You see how the amounts drop off the further north and west you are. We're keeping an eye on it. Meantime, a beautiful forecast with today's high around 84 and low humidity. A specific look at that weekend next. Chris?
Linda, thank you. Let's take a look at that Crane Automotive Team traffic report this morning. And early on our Friday commute, everything looks great. Let's take a look at our sky cams around the metro. And we'll start here at the Big Rock interchange, where traffic is moving smoothly right now through the 430, 630 on ramp, 630 eastbound next to Arkansas Children's Hospital. More of a moderate level of volume. Light to moderate levels of volume being seen right now on 30 westbound in front of Verizon Arena. We'll keep you updated on the traffic all morning long right here on Channel 7. But now we turn back to your news and we turn to your local news. Happening today, a Jacksonville man is expected in court in connection to the death of a missing Alabama woman.
Channel 7's Elizabeth Armstrong is live at the Lonoke County Courthouse, where he'll have his first court appearance this morning. Good morning, Elizabeth.
Hey, good morning, Arlison and Chris. Arkansas State Police do have someone in jail in connection to this crime, but at this point, he is not being charged with murder. Arkansas State Police booked this man, David Justin Houston Harvey, for abuse of a corpse and tampering with physical evidence around 10:15 Wednesday night. He is a 23-year-old from Jacksonville. On Sunday, police found a young woman, the body, in a Pinnacle Mountain State Park. Now, she was later identified through state crime lab analysis as 23-year-old Laramie Klein from Alabama, and her car was also found at Pinnacle Mountain State Park as well. Houston Harvey is currently in the Lonoke County Jail this morning, and he has a hearing here at 8. Right now, his bond has not been set, but the charges and the bail amount may change after his first court appearance. Channel 7 will be out here bringing you the very latest on our website, KATV.com, and of course our social media pages on Twitter at KATV News. Allison, back to you.
Elizabeth Armstrong out live for us this morning. Thank you. A suspect wanted for robbing a Little Rock bank is still at large this morning. Police say the man you see here walked into the Centennial Bank on South University just after 11 Thursday morning and presented a note to the teller indicating he was armed with a gun and demanded money. He was then seen walking north across the shopping center and out of view. According to police, the suspect has a teardrop tattoo under his right eye and marks on his ears to indicate he wears gauges. Authorities tell Channel 7 no one saw a weapon, but the suspect is being considered armed and dangerous.
One of the top stories at KATV.com this morning. High school football is kicking off soon, but one school has decided to cancel its football season due to a low number of players. Channel 7's Nick Popham spoke with some residents to get their reaction on the announcement.
Augusta is a town with a little under 2,200 people. And when you're in a small town like Augusta, a thing that brings people together is high school football.
They don't have a lot to do in a small town, and I think that was something that was an enhancement for the community.
But on August 22nd, it was announced that due to a low number of players participating, the 2017 season for the Red Devils would be canceled.
You know, it's a football town. You know, not to have football in this community, I think it shocks a lot of people, for one.
Antonio Gant is a former player on one of Augusta's state champion football teams. His son's a sophomore at the school and was looking forward to this season.
I raised him as a Red Devil, and he's been wondering all year long what they're going to have a team.
But when only 8 to 12 kids come out to practice, the school didn't want to harm those few players by overworking them.
It's not going to be enough to make a football team, and they need something to do around here. You know, keep everybody out of trouble and keep everybody going good.
It keeps the children out the street. It keeps their mindset. It keeps them motivated. It keeps them encouraged when they have people to redirect them to positive thinking.
With a strong junior high class coming up, as well as several underclassmen wanting to put on pads, Gant thinks with the current coaching staff, Augusta will be back on top sooner rather than later.
Stay tuned, because the Red Devil's coming back.
Thank you, Nick. Augusta's principal says that he's confident they'll have enough players in time for next season. During the regular season, the school says the players interested in playing football will continue lifting weights and occasionally practicing with the junior high team for now.
Okay, coming up, an update this morning on the Amazon deal to buy Whole Foods.
What day the deal is scheduled for finalization and the items already on the list to have lower prices at 6:18.
We'll have the latest on Hurricane Harvey, a major hurricane that is really kind of targeting southeast Texas. We'll talk about what it could mean for Arkansas weather next week. But first, a look at your weekend. That's next.
Brought to you by CareLink, Razorback Camper Sales, UAMS, and by your local Toyota dealers. The Bus Stop Forecast is brought to you by Cantrell Furniture and Arnold's Flooring. Skycams, sponsored by Middleton Heat and Air. With meteorologist Melinda Mayo.
Well, come take a look at this video because it is from our own Brian Emfinger. If there is weather happening, Brian is going to be there, and he is down along the Texas Gulf Coast. This is video of some of the outer bands of the storm coming in. Some of the first video we have seen from that area. Seadrift, Texas is part of Victoria, Texas. It's a little bit northeast of Corpus Christi, where we're expecting landfall late tonight or early tomorrow morning, but they are already seeing heavy rain and wind, and that's just some of the outer bands coming into that area around Victoria, Texas. Corpus Christi, of course, looking to be a little bit closer to where the landfall area is. So be sure and follow KATV News throughout the weekend, as well as Brian specifically, to get those pictures and photos and videos he's going to be sending. Well, it's a pretty picture here in Arkansas. Middleton Skycam on top of the Farm Bureau building there on the Big Rock Interchange, just showing a little bit of sunshine starting to show up, and nice weather, 63 degrees. With a northeast wind at 5. It's down in the 50s for a taste of fall again up in especially northwest Arkansas. Harrison's now down to 59, 56 at Fayetteville, and 60s across central South Arkansas too. You were still a little muggy this time yesterday, but that dry air has worked in. Let's look at that weekend, and we'll be watching Texas, of course, for you, as well as the effects in Louisiana. But anything that would affect us here in Arkansas is going to be later next week. So enjoy a beautiful weekend. 86 tomorrow, 85 on Sunday. Just a small rain chance. You may see a few high, thin clouds starting to move in this weekend, and that would be a little cloud cover from the system. But right now it doesn't look like any rainfall for us for at least a while. A frontal boundary keeps it kind of pushed down to the south. We'll actually have another front get into the state by the start of next week, and that'll bring back some small rain chances for us. Okay, Hurricane Harvey went up to a Category 2 early this morning. So let's go over the track. And like we said, really, the big problem is going to be the rainfall, because as it moves on shore late tonight, early tomorrow morning, somewhere around Corpus Christi, it sits there and spins and stalls. And then a lot of models have it even coming back out a little bit towards the shore, maybe even a second landfall as it gets a little bit closer to Houston. After that, we'll watch its path. Some models say all the moisture stays to the south of Arkansas. Some others say south and southeast Arkansas could get a good dousing about the middle part of next week. Look at how those amounts drop off, though, the further west you are in the state. 84 for a high today, mostly sunny. Another beautiful day. In fact, if anything, Harvey will probably rob moisture for a while and keep us even drier and lower humidity. Mostly cloudy tonight. We'll see a few clouds, and I think over the weekend you'll see those too. Temperatures will stay, though, in the 80s. It warms up a bit on Monday, and we'll keep an eye on rain chances. Those could go up a bit next week, especially for southeastern Arkansas. Be sure and stay tuned to Todd over the weekend. He'll have the latest for you. Chris?
Melinda, thank you. Let's take a look at our Crane Automotive Team traffic report this morning. We're starting on our map to show you everything is running smoothly around the metro right now. Even when we zoom out and take kind of a broader view of what's happening on the interstates, you're seeing all green lines, which means traffic is moving smoothly. Here's a look at our sky cams. We'll zoom in right now on the 630 east and westbound lanes in front of Arkansas Children's Hospital. Moderate level of volume there. Big Rock Interchange all clear at this time. And finally, look at the 30 River Bridge, where traffic is smoothly making its way over the Arkansas River Bridge. Coming up on Daybreak, caught on camera, a woman in Shreveport stuffs bottles of alcohol wherever she can find. How many bottles she stole and the reward for her arrest. Coming up next. The time now is 6:17. An update in Amazon's $13.7 billion deal to purchase Whole Foods. The deal is expected to be finalized on Monday. The two companies already announcing plans to lower prices on a number of items, including avocados, salmon, and almond butter, and said in a joint statement they will together pursue the vision of making Whole Foods market high-quality, natural, and organic food affordable to everyone.
Hurricane Harvey is headed towards a refinery rich stretch of the Gulf Coast. Some refineries are expected to shut down until the storm passes, which could disrupt gasoline supplies. Drivers could soon feel the impact of those disruptions when they fill up their gas tanks. Wholesale gasoline futures rose 3% on Thursday, and experts say price increases will quickly reach gas stations.
United Airlines is working with Brooks Brothers, Carhartt, and fashion designer Tracy Reese to design a new look for its 70,000 frontline employees, including pilots, flight attendants, gate agents, and ramp workers. The carrier completed some employee road shows at its hub airports that made it possible for United's employees to check out samples from designers and give feedback on what they want and do not want in new uniforms. The new threads are not expected to roll out until 2020.
Shreveport, Louisiana authorities are looking for a woman who robbed a liquor store. Take a look at this video. She's accused of stealing 18 bottles of liquor from a Shreveport store. The woman was caught on camera stashing the bottles wherever she could, in her bag, in her pants, in her bra. Police say the woman paid for one bottle before casually exiting the store. Police say several others were in on the theft and are asking the public to help identify anyone involved. They're even offering a $300 reward. Just gonna say that's not representative of everyone from Shreveport, right, Zach? There's two of us here.
There's two in studio.
There's two of us here from Shreveport.
It's your hometown right there.
Yeah, most people not doing that.
Okay, all right. I'd love to, never mind. Coming up next, the time's 6:19. Let's talk about your weather right now. Hey, Mel.
Most at least pay for it from Shreveport, right? We know there's a lot of good people down there. School bus stop forecast. Here's a look at it because we do have a lot of sunshine to start the day. A few clouds later on, but just high, thin clouds. So 64 at drop-off. Still that nice, beautiful low humidity. Pickup time, that's going to be about 82 degrees. I mean, nothing like late August usually is here in Arkansas. We'll talk more about that weekend forecast coming up, as well as some small rain chances next week. Could they get bigger for us because of Harvey? We'll tell you in just a moment. Chris?
All right, coming up next, Medicine with Morsi. UAMS Dr. Mohammed Morsi joins us on air and on Facebook Live answering your medical questions.
One of those questions, what are the risks to artificial sweeteners? The answer is next. The time now is 6:20 and it's 62 degrees outside. Welcome back. The time now is 6:24. Dr. Mohammed Morsi from UAMS is here on air and on Facebook Live to answer your health questions. Good morning, Dr. Morsi. Happy Friday to you. Let's get right to our questions. Gina from Maumelle says, are there risks to artificial sweeteners? Now, here in the South, we use a lot of sweeteners, maybe for our tea if it doesn't already come sweet. And we know that it's in sodas as well.
Absolutely, in sodas and pop cans. So, everything in moderation. So the short answer is, everything has some small risk, but everything in moderation is okay. So when the sweeteners came out in the 70s, and there was this big scare that they cause cancer, they're carcinogenic. That's pretty much proven that they don't. Okay, so you're safe from that standpoint. There are some studies that seem to link a lot of consumption of the sweeteners, and of course sweeteners are good. I mean, they're very, very, very sweet. Much sweeter than sugar in terms of proportion, and you don't have any of the calories. So instead of a can of soda having 150
we're talking about stuff
calories,
like the Sweet and Low, the Pink and Blue and yellow packets.
Exactly. There's
Splenda.
different, there's different kinds. So instead of 150 calories in a can, you get 0. So a lot of advantages. There's some suggestion that there may be a link to stroke and dementia if you have a lot of sweeteners, and maybe some when you're pregnant, if you have diabetes, your child will be a little bit more overweight later on in life. But everything in moderation, you should be fine.
Okay, question number 2 from Natalie in Jonesboro. How can I prevent migraines? Seems like a lot of people, maybe you know somebody that deals with migraines.
Yeah,
and when one of these comes on, it can be debilitating.
Very debilitating. I don't think there's anyone out there that doesn't know someone with migraines, and they can be very, very, very severe. Obviously, throbbing headache, and then the associated nausea, vomiting, abdominal pain, sensitivity to light, sound, things like that. So one of the things, we think they're inherited. One of the things you can do is some lifestyle modification. So a lot of times if you decrease your caffeine, if you get in a regular pattern of when you sleep, when you wake up, things like that'll help. Obviously, there's pain medication for the actual pain, and then there are medications that can help to prevent or reduce the incidence of the migraines. And interesting enough, things like anticonvulsants, drugs that used for seizures, or antidepressant drugs, and there are some drugs that narrow the arteries down. So those kind of things can help, and Botox can help as well. All right, we've heard about that. You can have Botox injections in the back of your neck or even in your forehead.
And that's seeing some success with
Yes, absolutely.
Botox.
You just have to try those different medications.
Okay, question number 3 from Michael in North Little Rock. What tick-borne illnesses are found in Arkansas? We hear a lot about this on the news. Rocky Mountain spotted fever, Lyme disease. Are they all here in Arkansas?
Yeah, so so obviously a tick, you have to brush against where the tick is on a leaf or in the grass, and then it transmits a bacteria to you. So ehrlichiosis, tularemia, anaplasmosis, and Rocky Mountain spotted fever. You can get those are basically bacteria. So if you get a fever, chills, pains, aches, headaches, a rash, after you've been out, you need to go see your doctor right away. In terms of the Lyme disease, if you look in the Arkansas Health Department website, there are some cases that are found here over the last few years, just very, very small handful. It's not clear if that's someone that came into the state with the Lyme disease or not, but very, very, very low incidence in Arkansas.
So don't get freaked out if you find a tick. Your likelihood that you have Lyme disease or you get Lyme disease is very low. Okay, Dr. Morsi, as always, great questions. If you have one, you can visit uamshealth.com/Morsi, and he will continue to answer your questions on Facebook Live. We'd love for you to join us during the break. Coming up on Daybreak, a Jonesboro school is doing away with in-school suspension and replacing it with yoga. We'll tell you why and where the school got the idea and what you think about it coming up at 6:54.
News overnight.
We are going to, in the strongest possible terms, encourage the residents in the low-lying areas, as they say, get out of Dodge.
Hurricane Harvey increasing to Category 2 strength, moving closer to the Texas coast right now. We get a look at the conditions in Corpus Christi. Plus, a Jacksonville man is expected in court in connection to the death of a missing Alabama woman. The charges he's facing this morning. And a theater is holding a clowns-only viewing of the movie It. We'll tell you their reason why and where it's happening coming up.
Good morning, everybody, and thanks for joining us on this Friday edition of Channel 7 Daybreak.
That'll wake you up, clowns, early in the morning.
Yeah.
A theater full of clowns. We hope your day is off to a good start. We want to get straight to the forecast. A lot of talk about the hurricane and how it could impact us later on. Right now, though, we're seeing Great weather.
Yeah, and sometimes that happens when there's a landfalling hurricane in the Gulf. It kind of takes the moisture away from us. We were already rid of the moisture because of the dry air that's been building into the state. I wanted to show you our sunrise shot. That is the Middleton Skycam off of Chenal Mountain. Look at all those pretty colors. It's a little bit of high cloudiness. It's just decorating up the sky. Those sunrises get even prettier if you have at least a little bit of cloudiness. But certainly it won't do anything but filter the sunshine. 63 degrees, a northeast wind at about 5, and it is a feeling of fall up at Fayetteville and Harrison and outlying areas. Even Russellville's down to 60, so likely upper 50s there along the Arkansas River Valley. You can tell it's a little bit more cloud cover than yesterday, but still no rain chances. There's the big weather story, Hurricane Harvey, and we will talk about its effect on Texas as well as what it could mean for us next week. That's all coming up in your forecast. Chris?
Linda, thank you. Let's take a look at our Crane Automotive Team traffic report this morning. And right now on our map, we're not really seeing anything that's going to slow you down. And our sky cams even confirm that as we go towards the Big Rock interchange this morning out in West Little Rock. Looks like everything moving smoothly there. Maybe a moderate level of volume on 630 eastbound going past ACH at this time, but it's moving. And same over at the 30 River Bridge. Smooth traffic flow right now going past Verizon Arena. We hope that continues for the remainder of the morning. We'll keep you updated on the traffic all morning right here on Channel 7. But happening right now, Hurricane Harvey turning off the Texas coast, increasing in strength, now a Category 2 storm.
We're getting a first look at the conditions on the coast this morning. Jordan Bonke with our sister station reports from Corpus Christi.
Voluntary evacuations are underway in Corpus Christi, and you can see a lot of people took that advice that the mayor had sent out yesterday as these streets are bare. But as that storm continues to strengthen in the Gulf, there's millions of dollars in property that's still at risk. Businesses like this seafood joint on the other end of the pier here, those are all boarded up like so many others. They're not taking any chances. One thing we did also learn yesterday is not only is the city shipping out residents from Corpus Christi to go to San Antonio, but so is a local hospital not far at all from where we're standing, taking residents and patients to San Antonio. The mayor also urges those who live in low-lying areas to get out of town if they possibly can. And the one big difference we can say when it comes to the weather between yesterday and today is a little bit more rain and a little bit more wind. And we're only expecting that to intensify in the coming hours and the coming days. I'm Jordan Bonke reporting in Corpus Christi.
Jordan, thank you. New this morning, a woman is waking up in jail after she was arrested by Hot Springs police Thursday. According to authorities, 29-year-old Ashley Chandler was wanted for her participation in a homicide that happened in Wyoming earlier this month. Police say the victim was allegedly thrown off a train during a confrontation with Chandler and another suspect. Hot Springs police and multiple other agencies determined Chandler was in the area, which eventually led to her arrest. Chandler is currently in the Garland County Detention Center and is awaiting extradition to Wyoming.
A sheriff's deputy in southern Arkansas was killed when his patrol car crashed into a vehicle he was chasing. Arkansas State Police identified the officer as 29-year-old Timothy Braden of Drew County. Troopers said that Braden tried to pull over a vehicle driven by 24-year-old Samuel Vincent of Monticello early Thursday, but Vincent sped off. Braden gave chase and their cars collided later. Vincent is charged with first-degree murder. He's due back in Drew County Circuit Court for a plea and arraignment on September 18th.
The Arkansas Razorbacks are getting ready to face off against Florida A&M Thursday at War Memorial Stadium. Preps are underway right now. Crews are cleaning the bleachers and slapping a fresh coat of paint on the field. But it's not just all Razorbacks next week. Hundreds are making sure the 103.7 The Buzz's Kickoff Classic before the Hogs game and the Salt Bowl between Benton and Bryant after the Hogs runs smoothly. Something to keep in mind this year, no purses or bags will be allowed inside the stadium.
We have a clear bag policy, and so whatever bag that you carry needs to be transparent, and we have a list of prohibited items that's available on our website, but things like chair backs, umbrellas.
So you can have purses, they just have to be clear. Around 47,000 fans packed the stadium for last year's Hogs game, and this year organizers hope for a sellout of 54,000. To check out parking options at the stadium, click on this story at KATV.com.
Happening today, the star of The Force Awakens, Adam Driver, will join filmmakers David Lowery and Jeff Nichols for the Arkansas Cinema Society's inaugural 3-night event. The event is going to run through August 26th. and includes screenings of Star Wars, The Force Awakens, and the family-friendly Pete's Dragon. Sadly, though, tickets are sold out for this event.
If you're like Chris and have a fear of clowns, you might want to avoid the Alamo Drafthouse, at least for one night. That theater holding a clowns-only screening of It, based on the Stephen King novel, at its Austin, Texas location. The September 9th screening seems to have come about after the theater chain received complaints on social media about women-only screenings of Wonder Woman earlier this year. A Facebook commenter asked if there would be a special screening for It that's only for those who identify as clowns.
Don't.
The theater responded saying they might have to steal that idea. Apparently, they weren't clowning around.
Oh, clowning around. This is a terrible idea. This is absolutely awful. You should probably steer clear of that entire town.
I mean, to even go to the movies that night would be
not
even if you're going to see something else, right? You wouldn't want.
I'm going to see it.
I don't even care if you're not really scared of clowns. That many at night.
That'd be scary.
Watching It would be scary.
That many during the daytime, that many anywhere would be terrifying. But we're not going to be there. No, absolutely not happening, managers. All right, coming up next on Daybreak this morning, a Jacksonville man expected in court in connection to the death of a missing Alabama woman.
The charges he's facing this morning at 6:45.
Beautiful sunrise coming up over Arkansas, but not so pretty down in South Texas. We'll show you the latest pictures and videos of the outer bands hitting that part of the country right now.
Weather with meteorologist Melinda Mayo.
Well, I want to show you some photos that we are already getting in from the coast of Texas, and these are from our own Brian Emfinger, our storm chaser. But of course, if there's something going on, he's going to be there. These are some of the outer main bands of Hurricane Harvey coming into Seadrift, Texas. That's where he's positioned right now. That is part of Victoria, Texas, actually. Beautiful area there, usually a little bit east of Corpus Christi. This is another photo that he took of the rain bands coming in early this morning. So he is already on the job. Be sure and follow KTV News, follow Brian. Of course, Todd will be here all weekend long with the latest on this landfalling major hurricane. 12 years since we have seen one this large hitting the coast. So let's take a look at our weather. You almost feel bad, but we're going to enjoy nice low humidity before we may see some rain chances next week go up because of Harvey. Hour by hour forecast, a little bit of high cloudiness. That's why that sunrise is so pretty. And you'll see that through the day. But look at those temperatures, 70s, low 80s, mid 80s for highs today. I've got us at 84 for a high. A little bit of cloud cover tonight. So, you know, go ahead though and grill out tonight, take a walk, ride your bikes this evening with the kids because it will be fantastic for that. Over the weekend, pretty good too. A few more clouds begin to work in. Temperatures go up only a little bit, 86 on Saturday. By Sunday, we start to get the effects of a front that's going to work down towards Arkansas. So it brings back a few rain chances, plus a little bit of moisture begins to come back in. There's a few of those high clouds, especially north and south Arkansas. But the frontal boundary still stalled there. North winds around that high pressure just reinforces the nice dry air that we have. So here is Harvey. You'll be hearing all about it today on Good Morning America with live reports. Landfall expected about 1 a.m. tomorrow morning, just after midnight tonight. Let me show you the track of that as it intensifies. Became a Category 2 early this morning. Expected to continue to intensify to a Category 3. Now, here's the problem. It doesn't make landfall and then fall apart like so many of them do. It sits there and spins and possibly even comes back out and makes another landfall as we go into next week. After that, does it work its way, at least some rainfall up into South Arkansas? A lot of the models say it's possible. So 1 to 3 inches from some of the latest forecasts possible for South Arkansas, Southeast Arkansas. You'll definitely want to stay tuned, check back in, especially over the weekend as we get more details on that possibility of rainfall for you. Much lesser amounts or maybe no effect for us Central and North Arkansas. 84 for a high today. Another beautiful day. Look at that sunrise, like a painting. 66 degrees tonight, mostly cloudy skies, and we'll have some cloud cover over the weekend, but still mainly dry. And the best rain chance right now is on Monday. We'll keep an eye Wednesday, Thursday of next week. Of course, Thursday, Hogs come to town, so we'll be watching that forecast for you carefully and give you some updates. Okay, time now for your Metro forecast.
Hey guys, Brooke again. Perhaps you noticed my brand new crane swag to go with my brand new Hyundai Elantra. Ah, there it is. The people here are amazing. Kate, come take a selfie. Say, Hyundai Fun Day. Hyundai Fun Day. This thing is a dream to drive. There's smart brakes, smart trunk. It even syncs with my iPhone. My apps are on the radio. Oh my God, I love it so much.
Get your 2017 Elantra starting at $13,599. Only at Crane Hyundai, Little Rock and North Little Rock, and CraneHyundai.com.
In this morning's GMA First Look, a remarkable story of survival. Best friends Reese McMichael and Rowan Fitch's summer adventure to the Grand Canyon became mission impossible. Lost in 100-degree temperatures for 5 days. Out of water the first day, dehydrated, drinking from puddles.
We found a few areas where water would just barely trickle out of the ground.
Rationing what little food they had.
Every day we'd eat a piece of a granola bar about that big.
Exhausted, trying not to panic, the teens' survival instincts kicked in.
We made a big sign with like rocks.
But on the 5th day, their lifeline came by way of a helicopter.
I had this big lifeguard whistle. I started, blowing. We're like waving branches at it and stuff.
And coming up at 7 a.m., more on how these two best friends made it out alive. With your GMA First Look, I'm Adrienne Bankard, ABC News, New York.
Enamel is the strong, white outer layer of your tooth surface. The thing that's really important to dentists is to make sure that that enamel stays strong and resilient for a lifetime. The more that we can strengthen and reharden that tooth surface, the whiter their patient's teeth are going to be. Dentists are going to really want to recommend Pronamel Strong and Bright. It helps to strengthen and reharden the enamel. It also has stain lifting action. It's going to give their patients the protection that they need and the whiter teeth that they want.
Olay Regenerist shatters the competition, hydrating skin better than prestige creams costing over $100, $200, and even $400 for skin that looks younger than it should. Fact check this ad in Good Housekeeping. Olay Regenerist, ageless.
This week only is Customer Appreciation Week at VisionWorks, which means you can get 50% off a complete pair of glasses all week long at VisionWorks. Shop in store and online.
The time now is 6:46. The temperature outside 62 degrees. Happening today, a Jacksonville man is expected in court in connection to the death of a missing Alabama woman.
Channel 7's Elizabeth Armstrong is live at the Lonoke County Courthouse, where he'll have his first court appearance this morning. Elizabeth, good morning again.
Good morning, Allison and Chris. Arkansas State Police do have someone in jail in connection to this crime, but at this point he is not being charged with murder. Arkansas State Police booked David Justin Houston Harvey for abuse of a corpse and tampering with physical evidence around 10:15 on Wednesday night. He is a 23-year-old from Jacksonville. Now, on Sunday, investigators found the body of a young woman a little north of Jacksonville. She was later identified through State Crime Lab analysis as a 23-year-old Laramie Klein from Alabama. Her car was found a short time later in Pinnacle Mountain State Park. Houston Harvey is currently in the Lonoke County Jail, and he's scheduled for a court appearance here at the Lonoke County Courthouse around 8. At this point, bond has not been set, but the charges and bail amount may change after his court appearance. Channel 7 will be out here this morning bringing you the very latest on our social media pages at KATV News on Twitter and at KATV Channel 7 on Facebook, and of course on our website, KATV.com. Allison and Chris, back to you.
Elizabeth Armstrong out live for us this morning. Thank you.
All right, coming up next, police are on the lookout this morning for this man right here, the bank he robbed and how he got away without being arrested. Next in your top stories.
Pulaski County authorities will continue their investigation into the death of a child. Deputies were called to West Bingham Baptist Church yesterday after a child was reported unconscious. The child was taken to Children's Hospital but later died. The child's body was taken to the crime lab for an autopsy. We will have an update on this investigation tonight on Channel 7 News at 5.
Little Rock police are looking for a suspect who robbed a bank. Police say the man you see here walked into the Centennial Bank on South University Thursday morning and presented the note to the teller indicating he was armed with a gun and demanded money. Now, according to police, the suspect has a teardrop tattoo under his right eye, marks on his ears to indicate where he wears gauges. Now, police say the suspect is considered armed and dangerous.
An Arkansas man who mailed letters in 2015 threatening to kill several of the state's mayors is sentenced to 18 months in federal prison. 56-year-old Maverick Bryan admitted last year to sending letters to the mayors of 7 cities. He wrote he'd kill them if they didn't put prayer and the 10 Commandments back in school and eliminate Common Core curriculum. The winner of the $759 million Powerball jackpot has come forward. Mavis Wanzik claimed her prize Thursday. She was getting off work from her job at the hospital when she found out she won. After discovering her win, she says she told her boss, "I'm not coming back." She chose to take a lump sum payment of $336 million after taxes. Wow. Good for her, yeah. We were talking yesterday about would you quit, how quickly? Right
Immediately,
there, she was done.
on the spot. Congratulations. All right, coming up next, the Jonesboro School is doing away with in-school suspension and replacing it with yoga. We'll tell you why and where that school got the idea from. The time now is 6:51. It's 62 degrees outside.
Well, coming up tonight at 5, thousands of Americans are affected by cystic fibrosis. It's known as a lung disease, but can affect numerous parts of the body. Channel 7's Maureen Glisovic sat down with an Arkansan who's sharing her story, who says when she was 14 years old, doctors told her she would not live past 16. Today, she is 32.
When I turned 16 and I wasn't at death's door, I thought, okay, maybe I've got this, you know. And, then the life expectancy went up to 21. I made it to 21. Then it went up again, to 30. I'm 32 now. Now it's 40.
Tonight at 5, how Noelle Mabry overcame depression, learned to cope with the symptoms of cystic fibrosis, and how she is raising awareness of the disease.
A Jonesboro school is no longer using in-school suspension as a punishment. In fact, Success Achievement Academy now has a meditation room where students can do yoga rather than having a designated ISS room. The director of the academy says they looked to a school in Baltimore who took the same approach, and after research, he says that the Baltimore school went to 0 suspensions and the bad behavior decreased drastically. The director says they have also made yoga a part of kindergarten through 8th grade's curriculum, and that he hopes to extend the program to 9th through 12th grades in the future. That brings us to our question of the day. We want to know, do you think yoga is an effective way to reduce bad behavior in school? You can tell us on our Facebook page. And right now, 69% saying no, 31% saying yes. You can keep voting and be a part of the conversation all morning long.
Okay, coming up next, we'll talk about your weather. Of course, the big story is Hurricane Harvey. The latest on that. Could it affect us here in Arkansas? And a look ahead to your weekend is next.
All right, let's take a look at your Crane Automotive Team traffic report this morning. As we take a look at our map right now, we're seeing traffic delays coming in on 30 eastbound. There was an accident, according to the Total Traffic and Weather Network of Little Rock, 30 eastbound at University this morning, and that is exactly where we're seeing those yellow lines, and they are back towards the Alexander exit as well. So a pretty heavy volume coming in right now from the southwestern portion of the metro. Be mindful of that on your morning commute. Here's a live look at our Skycam 630 and 430 working nicely together at the Big Rock interchange. Here's the 630 east and westbound camera showing it next to Arkansas Children's Hospital. About a moderate level volume there, nothing too bad. And then finally look at the 30 River Bridge where traffic is starting to build. So keep that in mind if that's on your morning commute. I would leave at least 5 to 10 minutes early to get your final destination on time, and a clear morning commute, Melinda, right now, which is nice.
Not clear in southeast Texas. Outer bands of Harvey are already on shore. Stay with Channel 7 throughout the day for the latest on a major hurricane that will be hitting late tonight, early tomorrow morning. Looks good here in Arkansas, though. Temperatures in the 60s now, headed to the low and mid 80s. A little bit more cloud cover by tonight, but still no rainfall.
Okay, we hope you have a great weekend. By the way, we've been listening to Taylor Swift's new song, Look What You Made Me Do, already getting over 3 million views overnight. We'll leave you with a little bit of that. Have a good one. We'll be back here in 25 minutes for more traffic and weather. Good Morning America is next.
When you lie, you said the gun was mine. Isn't cool. No, I don't like you.